Hey, folks out there, welcome to the very first episode to our new podcast, Human and AI Mind, Machines, and the Creating Descent.
Thanks for tuning in again. We are Vera, Arberie, and Ulli, and the moderators throughout this very special episode.
So you may wonder, what the heck is this episode all about? No guests? We thought we used this unique opportunity to share some rationale about the purpose of this podcast, and we want to take you with us behind the scenes of this virtual format where human meets AI.
So, why yet another podcast? Aren't there already enough podcasts out there? Yes, maybe, but I can assure you that this podcast is not like every other podcast. This podcast is really special. The purpose of Human and AI is to really connect an interdisciplinary community within and outside the company. We want to take you on a journey where we reflect upon what it really means to make an impact with the powerful technology of AI. And therefore, we provide genius minds across Siemens with a platform where they can speak up, tell us what really moves them and what actually fascinates them about AI. So, this is basically our purpose in a nutshell. But you may be also curious about how it actually all began. Like, I remember it was a very cold and cloudy day in March here in Munich. And actually, right when Corona really hit Germany and we were all facing the lockdowns, everybody was sitting in their home offices. And somehow we knew that we really had to transform into a virtual AI lab because we wouldn't be able to do any real projects, events, or meetups in the near future. But somehow we still wanted to be the platform that connects the people despite physical distancing. So we're sitting in a virtual meeting, which was called the COCO Task Force, aka Corona Communication Task Force. And we were brainstorming and using concept board and trying all those fancy tools that are used nowadays. And then finally we came up with the idea of Human and AI, where we invite very inspiring and bright people across Siemens and ask them about their views on AI.
It was pretty cool, actually, and I still remember, right, how we, we sitting together. Hey, what can we somehow do, right? How do we make, the strengths on this transaction of the unique proposition that we maybe also have in a large corporation, right? And when we focus on an AI and machine learning, then we can see, we see that, it has more and more prevalent impact on our daily lives, right? And therefore, we saw it that it is essential to be aware of, what's the actual impact in research and the broad actually impact in its application in the community, in the ecosystem, right? And therefore we say, like, okay, that's actually a USP. That's somehow an unfair advantage that we have if we are living in a large corporate, right? So who are your guests? Who are the genius minds we're trying to get a hand on, right? And to be fair, sure, corporate world can be crazy, it can be political, it can be sometimes also hierarchical, I guess, strange, geeky, right? But the beauty of such large macro organism is that these international corporates, right, with, in this case, located in more than 200 countries, it's also a huge opportunity and unique opportunity to meet such awesome, passionate, competent, fascinating characters and talents spawning from diverse backgrounds and also disciplines, and each have their very own view and also perspective, not necessarily from a manager or a positional aspects, but from the very personal and human-centered perspective, what's passionate and what they are passionate about, especially in the context of the AI, and where pretty different opportunities meet each other. And that is what we thought, hey, that's pretty dope. That's an enormous opportunity for us also to learn and grow. And therefore, we said, like, as we are facilitating and engaged in the Siemens AI Lab in Munich downtown, right? I guess hundreds of people, throughout the year. Why not capturing some of them, some of the discussions we have in a, let's say, do-it-yourself format, right? We are geeks, not communication professionals, but driving from purpose to people to production, right, Vera?
Yeah, it is like you said, it was a do-it-yourself. That was the slogan of Human and AI podcast, wasn't it, during the past months? But yeah, how to produce a podcast. Let me share a recipe from our side. All you need is a great team. Thanks for that. Passion to learn new skills, Photoshop, audio editing, texting, and some good recording software. And at this point, we also wanted to apologize that the audio quality wasn't always that good. Next time, the trial and error will be taken beforehand. But yeah, we are really happy to improve and also to get your feedback on that. I want to describe you just in a short couple of sentences my own transformation during this production. From the beginning, when my ambition was like nothing should go wrong, to the time after recording some podcasts where it was like, if something goes wrong, we try it again. To now, like, I can cut this out, so just start. But let's ask, like, what are your key learnings? I'm interested.
Yeah, for me was we started. It's like let's just get it started, right? Let's try it out, and we tried different software. We reached out to communication and said like, okay, let's make speed rather, the rational than following all process that in large corporates exists. Though something is, I guess it's not only technology, right, which needs to bear it, and that's why I thought it's very helpful and very fruitful when we first time reached out to say like, hey, communication folks and colleagues, we want to do this podcast thing. Everybody said like, oh, awesome, great. Hey, here's some best practices you can share. So it's not only about technology, but it's also communication, interaction with the broad community, not only the tech specs. That is something that I learned. Arberie, what about you?
I think for me, it was really interesting because we had a lot of like music titles at first that we wanted to incorporate into the podcast. But then we had to like talk to the GEMA a couple of times. And I think a key learning was do not try to trick the GEMA. So in the end, we decided just for some like more basic music, and also that recording a podcast is only half of the story. So there's a lot behind it. For example, the communication or the post-production. And also, Ulli, I remember at first when you were telling us to just like play ping pong during the interviews. So you just pose a question and then we do it and we just play the balls back and forth. But that didn't work out too smoothly. So we didn't hit each and every ball. And so a little bit of preparation was also very important, and also learning by doing, actually. So now you basically know what's the purpose behind human and AI. You already got some insights into who are the people in this podcast. So now you got some first impressions on what the purpose of human and AI is. You got some insights on who are the people behind this podcast. And you also got to know how the production process works. So maybe let's just move to our closing game, where we have a couple of questions that we then answer, like we would also do in a normal podcast. So, yeah, Vera, would you like to start?
Such a nice suggestion. So, Avery, what is your hidden superpower?
I guess my hidden superpower is that I'm quite optimistic and energetic person. So I always try to make like the best of every situation, and like having that positive mindset already helped me in a lot of situations. So I think that's like my superpower. But Ulli, I have a quite fun one. So if you could create a law for everyone in the world to follow, which one would it be?
Yeah. How about equality and human rights? I guess we're not missing laws, right? But from a different view, maybe perspective, right? If you're talking about innovation and technology and innovative, corporates, I would say innovation is somehow growth, right? Isn't it? And the objective function in our current society, growth is transaction, and since ages, the objective function is GDP, right? Meaning, we the system, also our society, is designed for gross domestic products, GDP, right? But GDP is not a measure of human well-being, right? That's something differently, right? And so my rule, if I would have this, we would need somehow find a human-centric GDP in the future to optimize for. So Vera, I have some moonshots. What is your personal moonshot actually?
Stay positive and fill your energy store like with meeting inspiring people, and add a lots of smiles.
Oh, the smiles we have throughout this podcast, already the given podcasts we had. We're looking so much for the next upcoming rising. So, folks out there, stay tuned. There is so much to come. Stay bold, committed, open minded, and we hear us definitely at the next Siemens AI Lab podcast. Cheers.